White Rabbit House is part of a terrace of 1970s neo-Georgian houses, built on the site of demolished large Victorian villas. Whilst the front facade was designed in the neo-Georgian style, the interior layout and design were generic 1970s house builder, stripping out the entire interior back to just the external walls and the roof. The architects inserted a new interior as a modern interpretation of a Georgian house interior. London's retro-style house that has unfolding narrative that is very abstract of White Rabbit House. I am Backland, founder of BEA+, and I am gonna talk about my personal thoughts about White Rabbit House. Gundry and Ducker took gutted interior to create what they describe as a modern interpretation of a Georgian house. The experience of walking through this home can only be compared to that of an unfolding narrative, each space using its material palette, color choices, and the contrast of geometric and curving shapes to create so much visual interest, it's hard for occupants to look away. The architects have used largely green, baby pink, and white throughout the home, in some areas the force of the color becoming the main focus of a room. The repetition of motifs such as the arch and a clean rectilinear grid is the element which, despite a playful and different interpretation of contemporary living, ensures the home doesn't become too overwhelming. In addition, the design was intended to provide a contrasting route through the house. The initial volume of the entrance hall is contrasted by the scale of the arched tunnel beyond. Also, when you are dealing with a small space like this, having a softer corner and edges is huge, plus because it makes it so much better, so much more open, easy to move through, and you do not knock your hip on things. Moreover, the house opens into a 3-story void. Soft light from an overhead skylight slips down the light green walls, dancing as they make their way down. Architects explain that the whole house has been designed around the cantilevered, pill-shaped staircase, which stands with a demanding presence as the first character presented in this home. The exterior of Gundry and Duker's White Rabbit House features a traditional brick facade, terrazzo tiles, marble, and a typical-looking green door and windows. The selection of pastel green tones to differentiate the entrance door, stairs, pillars, and floor framing structure creates a soothing and relaxing experience for the user. However, from the street the building seems polite and restrained. Images of a refined lady lounging within its walls springs to mind. As we can see at your first glance, the building's design is made up of contrasts, old and new, heavy and light, natural and handmade, textured surfaces and flat surfaces. This forms and materials becomes the transition old and new. Also, the new extension feels lightweight yet soft opposite to old part of house which heavy and sharp. However, the experience of opening that doorway can only be related to that of falling down the rabbit hole into Alice in Wonderland's mystical world. When you enter the hallway, checkerboard floor in marble and terrazzo welcome you. The stair is painted a pale green with slim racing green railings and a polished wood banister. The steps are made from a custom terrazzo, which has large chips to match other details in the house. Moreover, the bathroom is painted pink with an arched doorway and a rounded half wall separating the shower. White Rabbit House color usage in the spaces were interesting because they tried to delineate or separate zones. We can see it while we walking inside the room. Kitchen, corridors, and bathroom all delineated with different colors. Like most of the modern architecture projects, this extension project also inevitably rendered in white. Also, the selection of pastel green tones to differentiate the entrance door, stairs, pillars, and framing structure creates a soothing and relaxing experience for the user. However, White Rabbit House, relieved of superfluous decorations and like most modern architecture building, became associated with the predominant use of white surfaces to highlight the volumetric composition. Because white-colored architecture is often understood as straightforward, clear, and sincere. As we can see, the colors in the zone of blue and green colors in the color wheel are called cold colors. Therefore, although this building has a balanced aura on the outside thanks to the warm atmosphere emitted by the brick facade of the old building behind it, on the inside this aura leaves a cold atmosphere with the green and white dominated color palette created. Actually, one of the reasons for choosing this color palette may be to make an already narrow house seem wider than it is with cold colors. However, although the colors change inside the house, the atmosphere does not change much in general. For this reason, we can get a soothing and tranquil atmosphere throughout the house. People can generally feel calm and relaxed in this house. In addition, the atmosphere created is a blood pressure reducer and an incentive to introvert. Considering all its features, the biggest feature that attracted me to this project was there is an ever-present relationship between interior spaces and their surroundings with constant slight lines throughout the building maintained. From each point, an occupant can watch over other activities within the house while admiring the gardens which surround the property. Gundry and Dhaka have created a beautiful home which celebrates the neo-Georgian heritage of the original structure, whilst respectfully injecting a new, modern interpretation of its exterior into additional interior living space. The design is bold and playful, a refreshing and sensory, stimulating interpretation of contemporary living.